Hello, my friend. Welcome to the Believe You Are a Good Mom podcast. I'm Emily Wardrop from Drop the Word Life Coaching, where we help moms of young kids drop power struggle wars to create more peace in their parenting. Do you want to be a good mom? I will tell you the one simple secret of how to be a good mom. You already are. Don't believe me? You've come to the right place. I'm glad you're here. I've got you. Because when you truly believe you are a good mom, everything will change for you as you live into the truth of who you've always been. Let's get started. Okay, welcome back to another episode. So exciting. Who's excited? I'm excited. Just want to take a second and thank you for listening. If whether you're excited or not, you hit play. Thank you very much for listening. I'm excited because I've got Barbara Stacey here. She's so fun. She's my friend. And she's also a coach. Shocker, right? Most of my guests are also coaches. So I'll let Barbara introduce herself.
I am Barbara Stacey. I'm a coach that works with women in midlife. I work with a lot of women who are struggling with their adult children. They're parents of adult children, and they're still struggling with whether or not they're a good mom. I have two adult children. One's 36 and one's 33. I have two of the most intelligent and gorgeous grandchildren in the world, and I'm not biased at all. Ben is 11 and Levi is 9, and they're coming for Christmas. So I'm super excited about that. And I'm married to the incomparable Mike Stacey, and we've been married for 39 years.
That is a big year next year.
Yeah.
Is it in 2023?
2023, 40. Yeah, 40.
So fun. I just had my big 40th birthday. So
nice.
I guess you were married the year before I was born. Anyway. Okay. I'm just laughing because my podcast listeners, if they're moms of young kids, they're like, Emily, why do you keep interviewing moms of not young kids? because I've had this conversation multiple times with coaches who coach people in with adult kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you've stuck it out, listener, and listened to these interviews with these sage-wise women who are older than we are and have been through what we've been through, there's so much wisdom to learn. And I like to call it the light at the end of the tunnel wisdom. Like you give us that hope that there is light at the end of the tunnel and the realistic view that all our problems don't end at the end of the tunnel. Right. And so there's that. And then what I'm excited to talk to you about today is that you and I both believe in our inherent identity. We're in a group of coaches where we learn about our inherent identity. And that's where I came up with my whole platform of believe that you are a good mom. So what I mean when I say you are a good mom is that you inherently are. Like it's who you inherently are. So like I said in the intro, to believe that you are a good mom is the secret on how to be a good mom. We all want to be a good mom. Anything that says how to be a good mom, we're like, ooh, let's read that. I want to be a good mom, as if it's something way out there. I will let Barbara talk, I promise, but I'm on one right now. So, because this is my thing that I want to just shove down everyone's throats. So when we're trying to become a good mom, it's as if we're not already. But the secret to being a good mom is to believe that we are a good mom. And Barbara told me that that has been quite the journey for her to believe that she's a good mom. So that's what I'm going to let her share. And I'm going to move this mic away from my mouth because it's your turn.
Okay. I had my two children when we were stationed in Germany. One was born in Nuremberg and the other was born in Berlin. And I was super excited with the first one because he was born on Mother's Day and it was awesome. And I became a mother on Mother's Day. And then they let me go home from the hospital. I'm like, do you guys have any idea? I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. And we just went through this whole, like my husband didn't have younger siblings. I did. I'm number 2 of 6. And so I was changing diapers and washing out, the cloth diapers when I was 4. I remember that because I tried to do what my mom did and flush the poop down the toilet.
Uh-huh.
And my hand wasn't strong enough to hold the
Oh,
diaper,
no.
so I flushed the whole diaper, and she got kind of
Oh.
upset. Anyway, that's just a little aside.
Clogged the plumbing.
So I kind of knew, because I'd babysat and everything, I kind of knew how to take care of a child, but this was mine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys have no idea. You're just letting me go home with this thing? Seriously? And my husband was going back out to tank training school and whatever he was doing at the time. So I was all by myself for the first, I don't know, couple of weeks of his life. And I tried to be a good mom. So I would wake up, like he'd sniffle in the middle of the night, 20 minutes, I'd wake up. Oh no, is he okay? You know, when he really got the sleep that he needed without me picking him up every second, was when we went to England and he was in the front carrier. I put him in the, we carried him, Mike carried him, I carried him. And he slept for like 2 hours in the morning, and then he would wake up and look around, and then he slept for 2 hours in the afternoon. So what I needed to be was a more hands-off mother of a newborn.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that at the time.
Right.
My daughter, she was different because she had colic. And so I don't know how I was so patient. I look at it now. I was super, super patient. Really patient with a baby that cried every night at 5 o'clock.
Okay, well, I don't know how isn't good enough. You got to tell us.
Right? How it wasn't good enough?
No. Patience is a feeling, right? And so if you were generating the emotion of patience, then you were thinking something. So when your baby is crying all night, what are you thinking that generates patience? Because I've been trying to find these thoughts.
What was I thinking? I would just walk around with her, and my son would pat her on the back, and I'd try the football hold. I tried everything. I finally just put her in her bed and let her cry, and then I cried.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing I could do for this child. She was tired. She just needed to go to bed. And my son was so easy. Oh my goodness, was he easy? He was a dream baby. Our daughter was harder, as far as sleeping is concerned.
So when you say I was patient, I don't know how I was so patient.
I must have just thought, I mean, I didn't want to hurt her. There were times when I wanted to hurt her. There were times when I wanted to shake her and tell her to stop crying because, but most of the time I just would walk around with her and just be resigned to, okay, this is what life is right now.
Yeah, resigned.
That's just what it is. I just kind of just let it be what it was.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I just let it be what it was.
Yeah. That's what I call acceptance. So I have this thing about 3 AAA batteries. These are the things we need. So we need awareness, acceptance, and then alignment. And so in coaching, we help people get awareness, right? And once we have that awareness, we usually judge it. Of course. And that's the opposite of acceptance, right? So once we fill up our awareness battery, then we need to fill up our acceptance battery, which is just calling it resigned sounds a little bit not that fun, but acceptance is like, you just accept this is happening. Like this baby needs to cry. I don't know why, but this is happening, and getting mad about it isn't making her stop crying. And so I just accept that this is happening. So literally my go-to brain hack for that is, well, that happened, because it's usually in past tense for me. Like they're not still crying, but it's like my son just hit his sister or something like that. I'm like, and I'm in resistance to that. Like he shouldn't do that,
Yeah.
But it happened. Like it happened.
It happened. I had, my son was 3 when Rachel started to get a little bit mobile, then he got jealous. And so he had his little tricycle, and he's in the apartment, and there was a square window from the kitchen that I could see, and he had his tricycle, and I heard her start crying. And so I looked out because I was cooking dinner. I looked out that little square window, and he hits her with his tricycle. And then he backs up and he does it again. And I'm like running in slow motion, like in a dream. I picked up the tricycle and dumped him off of it. And I picked her up and I went in her room, because I knew that if I stopped to talk to him, it was going to be all over, because you just don't, but he was 3.
Yeah.
He was 3. So in that moment, I had to realize he's only 3. calm yourself down. Like I put myself in timeout with the
Yes.
baby
Uh-huh.
and let him just be. And I knew he wasn't going to go anywhere because, anyway, hopefully he wasn't going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
But that was
exactly
actually, that
right.
was a really proud parenting moment for me now that I think about it. It's hilarious because, I mean, he didn't hurt her. He didn't really, really hurt her. There weren't any bruises. I don't know how hard a 3-year-old can ride a tricycle into a baby, but yeah, there were times. In fact, I look back on all the things that I did when my kids were little, and I just think of all the things that I did that were right.
Nice.
Like my son, when he was 4, wanted to count to 400. And we were walking from our friend's house we were in Berlin at the time. So we were walking up to the subway, the U-Bahn, and he wanted to count to 400. And so I just let him count to 400 and just listened. And every time that they would say, "Hey, mommy, come see," something in my mind said, if I don't come see now, they're not going to ask anymore. So even when I didn't want to get up and come see, I would go and see. But even then, after they grew up, and like I remember when my son was getting ready to leave home, I just had this absolutely fierce, just protective love for him. I'm like, the world can't have him. Satan, you cannot have him. You cannot have this child. He's not yours. And that was, I mean, I was not prepared for the fierceness of the feelings that I had toward him. I knew I loved him, but I had no idea how much until he got ready to leave home. And then it was like, but then I also had the yay, he's gone. And
yeah.
And I hit his room back.
Well, and it's fun because the fear that you feel about letting him go is actually the same thing that triggered that moment when he was on the toddler and like running into the baby. Like we go into mama bear mode because someone's hurting your baby, right? Like, and you kind of forget, your brain doesn't really register in that millisecond that that it's also your baby that's hurting your baby. But all you care about is that like the baby's in danger, right? And so part of the acceptance is just to know that your brain is working the way the brain is supposed to be working, right?
Yeah.
Like you go into fight or flight, you go into defensive mode because your baby is being attacked. And so the same feeling that you felt so fiercely when he's about to go out into the world, it's all just our brain doing what the brain is supposed to do.
And that's a good mom.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Loving your kids.
Yeah.
But I think before you love your kids, you have to really accept who you are.
Yeah.
And love yourself.
Yeah.
You can love other people from a place of scarcity, but it's not as powerful as when you just accept, look, I'm a good mom. That's my ideal. And so that's what I become as I put that out into the world. If you start telling yourself you're a bad mom, you're going to keep looking for evidence that that's true.
Yeah.
But I'm looking back at this, and at the time, I don't think I thought I'm a good mom or a bad mom. I just picked up the tricycle by its handle and dumped him off of it. I guess I could have hurt him, but I walked with the tricycle and my daughter into the room and closed the door. That was all I did. Was that a good mom? I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. That's my whole thing, Barbara. That's my whole thing. And I want to like pound the pulpit with my thing.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter what you do, like whether you dumped him off the tricycle, whether you could like be superhuman and calm yourself down in a millisecond and be able to like go and calmly talk to him about his feelings and that he's feeling jealous of his little sister and like whatever it is that we think that we're supposed to be able to do in order to qualify as a good mom. None of that matters. It's not about doing. So when you say I have no that you tried to be a good mom, like what we picture is these situations and something that we did or didn't do. We're not doing a good mom. We're trying to be a good mom. Like, not what kind of mom do you want to be? Whenever we hear that, we think, what kind of mom do you want to do? Is what we're actually hearing.
Yeah.
We get very, very, very all up into our action line. Like, if I did this, or if I handled it this way, or if I would do that, then I would be a good mom. It's not about the doing. It's about the being, like who we actually are. Right. And if we really, really, truly, for real believe that, then our action line just follows along, because believing is a thought and our thoughts come before our actions. So when we
Right.
believe that we're a good mom, then we feel confident and we show up as a confident mom.
Well, we had some issues after our children left home, and we found out that our son was using drugs, and there were just some things that were, and we found out in a way that was really tough for us to process. And I went through the whole, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? I could have done this better. I could have done that better. I could have.
Mm-hmm.
But the journey of this was, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. I don't know how long it was ago. The journey to get to where I know I'm a good mom, from that place of I shoulda, coulda, woulda,
Mm-hmm.
has been actually life altering.
Yeah.
Some of the things that I did is that I prayed a prayer of gratitude for the trial, not for what it was teaching me. I was just grateful that this was my life right now. And I felt compelled to do that. And then when my daughter also was leaving our faith, I did the same thing. And it took the whole burden away. Mm-hmm. Because this is a journey that they're on and I can love them through it. It's a journey that I'm on and I can love me through it. It doesn't mean I'm a good or a bad mom, because if I say that I'm a good mom because my kids turned out the way I wanted them to, then I have to take credit for the ones that didn't. Right. And that's not fair to both them or me. And besides, there's no end here, right? I mean, it's a journey and it just keeps rolling along. We don't know what's going to happen next. But I do know what my responsibility is to love my children, not to judge them, not to accuse them, but to love them. Yeah. That's it. That's my only, and also the same thing with myself. I have to love myself, not accuse myself of not being a good mom, not judge myself for not being a good mom, but to love the good mom that I inherently am and have been the whole time I've been a mom.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because if you're going to take the credit, you got to take the blame.
Yeah. And that's not fair
to anybody, because there's this thing called agency. It really, truly is not. Yeah, we have influence on people, but we just take too much credit and too much blame. So if nothing's gone wrong here, then there's no shame or blame. Right. Nobody needs to be blamed for anything. Nobody needs to be credited. Yeah. Oh, what a great mom, because your kid is doing whatever. Back to the doing, right? And so what I really, really, really love about talking to people who are in your shoes about this is that what we do when our kids are little and we're actually conscious of this is that we catastrophize. We're like, oh no, I just grabbed him off of his tricycle. I ruined him for life. He's going to be living under a bridge someday, or he's going to be doing drugs someday. Or what, if you see him doing drugs and you go back and blame it to the tricycle incident, we're doing the tricycle incident right now. And we're blaming in the future. We're blaming ourselves in the future for their stuff. And it's like, come on, people. Like, if in the future you truly understand and believe that it wasn't your fault, then you can relax now, Right. And so if we can really get that perspective that no matter how our kids turn out, we are a good mom, no matter how we behave now, how they behave in the future, how they're behaving now, whether their hair is brushed, whether they, like, it doesn't matter. Like, we just are good. Yeah. And then the magic sauce is that then we really do. Like, I can't tell you how many podcasts I talk about how I don't brush my kids' hair. Guess what? My girls' hair were not only brushed, but curled this weekend. Ooh. I used to look at the cute little girls with curled hair at church and just be like, that will never be my kids. Like, I just can't do that. And it happened. And this is the magic secret sauce. I'm telling you, this is how it happened. Because when I beat myself up that I'm not as good as that mom, I can't get it together, I can't get my kids' hair brushed, let alone curled. Are you kidding me? Then it never happened. Like, I just stayed stuck in that muck. But once I believed I'm a good mom, no matter how their hair looks, guess how their hair looks now?
Yeah.
Well, it's
Like
wet
you
because
wanted
it's
to.
snowing on it. But they even woke up, got right out of bed because they wanted me to curl it again this morning. I'm like, what is
Oh.
happening? My life has taken a 180. Like, what is going on here? And this is a secret. So it doesn't
It is.
matter how old our kids are, it's affecting us because we're taking the blame for their agency. They literally have agency. And we just don't believe that.
I received a blessing that said I would be a worthy mother. And I think I just internalized that probably early on. And I didn't always believe it. If I'd had coaching, that would have really changed everything. But
That's why
I
I
didn't.
coach moms of young kids. I
That's
just want
right.
them to have the tools. And I'm so tired of hearing people say, I wish I knew these when my kids were little. I'm like, well, then let's know them now.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? Why not do
Anyway,
it now?
sorry, interrupted again.
No, that's all right. When I
Blessed, worthy
believed
mom.
that, and it was always in the back of my mind, you are a worthy mother. So there were times when I did feel like I was a worthy mother, regardless of what was going on around me. And now I have no doubt that I am a worthy mother. I'm a good mom.
Yeah.
I'm a good mom. I was a good mom. I am a good mom. I'm a great grandma. I'm such a good grandma.
It's a lot easier to believe that one, right?
Oh, yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm not responsible for how they grow up. I just get to have fun with them.
And I try to take on that mentality now. I'm not responsible for how they grow up. Like, what am I responsible for? Really, like we have to define what our job title even is because otherwise the brain goes crazy with what it thinks it is.
Keep them alive. That's a
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah. But even then,
I mean, if possible,
what if
keep them
there's an
alive.
accident?
Like
I
feed
could,
them.
yeah.
You
And
know,
even then, Barbara, just feeding them, that's a lot of drama for me. Like a lot.
it's like I remember thinking, I just fed you. You're hungry
Seriously.
again?
Yes, I know.
I yelled at my nursing son once because I was
Oh,
so frustrated. Yeah.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know what? Even then, I was a good mom. I was
Exactly.
just having a moment.
Exactly.
They'll have moments.
Yes, we are celestial beings. We are good. That's why I use the word good because that's what God uses. Like he
Yeah.
created the earth and he said it is good. Like he
Yeah.
created us and said it is very good. We are good. And yes, we're great and exceptional and wonderful sometimes. And we're also terrible and, you know, whatever. Like if we're going to quantify it, you can always be better. You can always be worse. But he said we're good. So I'm like,
Yeah.
it's all good. I'm good with good.
Take him at his word.
Yeah. And so I forgot where I was going with that. What did you just say?
I was talking about yelling at my son, and even then, I was a good mom.
Yeah.
I remember the feeling then that I was just so overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I yelled at him and said, "What do you think I am, a cow?" And he screamed even louder. I mean, he just wanted to nurse. He was not very old. He was, I don't know, 6, 7 months old, and I'm yelling at my baby. But that happens sometimes.
It really does. So that's
It's
where I was
just
going.
part of
We
life.
are celestial beings, and then we're shoved down into this earth life with these mortal bodies, with these mortal emotions and all the mess. And it just is a messy middle that we're in right now. But this is not who we are. Like we
creation
are
is messy.
Yeah.
And we're creating an eternal life here.
Yeah.
And it's messy. It just is.
Yeah.
And it's okay that it's messy. It's fun. You know, it's fun to get messy sometimes.
For sure. Ask any toddler. So yeah, it has to, like, I was cleaning my office this weekend and it was like, it has to get worse before it gets better, you know, because you have to like just shovel everything to reorganize. Like, what is this stuff? Where's it going? Here's a pile of that. Here's a pile of that. And then if you look at it mid organization, it looks way worse. And then you start putting the pieces back together and get them where they go. And then all of a sudden it looks amazing. But there has to be that messy middle to create something new. We have to kind of take apart some of the pieces and whatever. And so we were living la-di-da-da, like in our pre-earth life state, but there was so much more to be experienced and learned and growth and development. And that doesn't come in ease and that doesn't come clean. Like it's messy. So
yeah, and that's
all
where we want to give up too.
Yeah.
We want to give up in the messy middle.
And then what are we learning from that? What was the point then? You know, so all we have to do is just not give up.
Yep.
Because all of this is the acceptance battery. That's why I feel like my whole podcast is just the acceptance battery, because people want to move on from there. They want to be like, okay, yeah, I'm a good mom no matter what I do. Well, then I'm just going to go do a bunch of crap. And like, it's just a rationalization. Like, oh, I can yell at my kids. No big deal, because I am a good mom. Like, nope, that's not quite, you haven't quite got that battery filled up. Because once you really accept it, then you just switch into alignment. And people want to go into alignment first. What I think of it, alignment is like where your action line matches.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, yeah, whatever. I'm going to think I'm a good mom. And then I'm going to like keep yelling at my kids. No, like literally when you really accept who you are and you accept that you're in this mortal state. So you're going to do some crazy things like yell at a baby that you're a cow, that you're not a cow.
Yeah.
Like that is just part. And, you know, if you can really accept that part too, you accept your celestial 50, your mortal 50, and then like, once you really accept that, then you live in alignment. So you become who you've always been. Your
But I
action
think
line
of that,
finally aligns with who you actually are.
that 23-year-old who was yelling at her baby.
Yeah.
I look at her and I think, you were such a child.
Mm-hmm.
And here you were taking care of this new life. Good for
Mm-hmm.
you. Way to go.
Yeah.
You know, because I have compassion for former me who didn't know what almost 60-year-old me knows.
Yeah.
That 23-year-old didn't know. She was very young. And it's okay. It's okay that she was young and learning. I didn't screw up my kids. I didn't.
Correct.
You know, I did a lot of stuff that people would go, eh. And then I did a lot of stuff that people would go, wow, way to go. I did what was necessary for them to lead the lives that they wanted to lead. I kept them alive. I made sure they were educated, you know, and I loved them. Really, what I did was I love them. That's it.
And it's literally the same thing you're still doing. You're not done being a mom, and your kids are still doing whatever they want to be doing. And whether it's what you want them to be doing or not, it doesn't reflect on you, first of all, so you can take that pressure off. And then you just trust in God and his plan, you know?
Yeah.
And so there's nothing.
Well, it's like none of this is a surprise to him.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you said something earlier. You said nothing I could do for this child. Like when your baby is crying.
Yeah.
With colic, and you just feel like I've tried everything. There's nothing I can do. This is the child that I have. This is what they're doing. It's the exact same situation now. Like there is nothing you can do to change what your child is doing. They have their agency. They're doing it exactly how they want to be doing it. And you're there for them. You're trying whatever you're trying. You're doing your, but they're gonna just keep crying if they want to keep crying.
That's true. Yep,
as adults with whatever they're doing. So we can like look at it as resigned to like, oh great, their life is just terrible and that's all there is to it. Or like really trust that it's all part of their eternal.
What if their life is not terrible because I'm in it? What if I'm a bright spot in their life?
Yeah.
I don't know. I could ask them that. I mean, but that would be well, of course, mom, you know, but I just thought that, you know, I'm somebody that my daughter turns to when she needs help dealing with her anxiety.
Yeah.
And I'm someone that my son, he's so thoughtful. He's so thoughtful. They're good people, both of them. And I love them with more than I ever thought I could love two humans. So I love these two children that I got to help create. And I love my grandkids too. They're just the best. But I absolutely adore my children as they are because they're not finished. I'm not finished.
Yeah.
But I look at them as good people too.
Yeah.
They're both good, really good people. They're so loving and kind.
And they really just are.
Yeah.
Like, we just all are.
Yeah.
No matter what we're doing.
Yeah.
So no matter what and so it's I just
So don't beat yourself up because there's no upside to that. Not a single upside. I used to go down these spirals of self-condemnation and there is no upside to that.
Right. And so when you say, I look back and think about what I did right, if that's a useful tool, that's great. Like we do need to focus more on what we are doing. Like,
yeah.
Well, again, that goes into the alignment battery, that it's like, if we can just accept where we're at, I promise you we'll make progress. But people want to skip that part and just go straight to the progress. So they're like, they're, what do I call it? Like, oh my gosh, what is it called? Willpower. They're just like willpowering their action line, like, I'm not going to yell anymore. I'm not going to yell anymore. I'm not going to yell anymore. But really, like, you don't yell anymore when you've got that thought feeling dialed in, And so when we really can stay in acceptance of where we're at and love them for who they are, love us for who we are, and trust that God is in the long run,
Yeah.
All things are present to him, so he's not worried about it. He knows how the end from the beginning, and he knows this is just a messy middle and that it's all fine. So, all right, Barbara, tell people where they can get more of you.
I'm on Happy, the number 2, the letter B, M-E coaching.com, Happy2BeMe coaching.com. And occasionally I get on Instagram, sometimes Facebook, but not a whole lot. Maybe later. I also have a podcast called the Happy2BeMe podcast. Happy, the number 2, the letter B, me. And I tell you why happy to be me. So if you want to go listen to episode 1, I tell you why it's happy to be me.
Awesome. Well, it's happy to know you.
Oh, it's happy to know you too. Love this conversation, Emily.
And that's really where it's at. Like, if we're happy with ourselves, like all of us, and then it's easier to be happy with our kids, and we don't have to make them be happy. Like, we don't have to stop the crying baby in order for us to feel better. We can figure out how to be patient with the process and just trust that it's all in the bigger picture that we can't see right now. And I get it that it's a lot easier said than done, but that's where coaching comes in, is that we take like very specific situations and work through them, and there'll be no end to that. There's no arriving.
Well, because we all have human brains that are constantly trying to, waylay us on our journey. And send us down those spirals of self-doubt and self-pity and whatever.
Yeah. Which is all self-love. Which is all how God created it. He gave us these brains for a reason, and they're doing their best to do their job. And anyway, it's all good. It's all good. It is
all good.
All right, Barbara. Great. It sure is. Happy to be me and be here with you. Okay. Well, we will talk to you all later. We're signing off. Bye, Barbara.
Bye.
Hi, thanks so much for listening. Have you signed up for your RBC yet? What is an RBC? Well, it's a relationship boost call, and I am gifting 365 of these for free this year. So go to dropthewar.com/appointments to find a time that works for both of us. We'll hop on Zoom for a quick 15 to 20 minutes, and all you got to do is have somebody in mind that you want to improve your relationship with. It's fun, it's easy, it's a good time. You're going to feel amazing afterwards, and no strings attached. Just come on, have a great free coaching call, and then go on your way. And you can come back for as many as you need, because we know it's no one and done around here with relationships. So go to dropthewar.com/appointments to find a time that works for both of us, and let's get boosting those relationships. See you there. Bye.